Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the June 8th, 2026 council meeting. Roll call, please.
Brewster.
Here.
Walters.
Here.
Rarden. Ewert. Here. Clothier.
Here.
Parton. Here. Myers.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Tonight's application will be given by Andrew Beers from Resurrection Lutheran Church in Baltimore.
Thank you for having me. Let us pray. Gracious and almighty God, we come before you tonight to ask your blessing and your guidance over this council meeting and over the community that we love. You have taught us that our faith is lived out in love and service to you and to our neighbors, and we thank you for calling these leaders to the holy and vital vocation of public service. Grant that our mayor and council members may have discerning hearts and the wisdom to make decisions that promote the well-being and the peace of all in our community. Empower this council and all who serve to be a voice for the vulnerable, stewards of our shared resources, and builders of a community where all residents can thrive. May the decisions tonight be filled with grace, the debates with mutual respect, and our actions with integrity. Bless the residents, the workers, and the families of our city. Keep us united in a spirit of cooperation and hope as we work together for the common good. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we have a special order of business. We have a couple proclamations I'll be reading. So the first one is the proclamation for the 75th anniversary of the city of Haysville being incorporated. In recognition of the 75th anniversary of the incorporation of the city of Haysville, whereas in 1891, Haysville was established by William Wallace Hayes, where he platted land he owned for the purpose of building a town. And whereas the city of Haysville, Kansas, was officially incorporated on July 3rd, 1951, marking a major milestone in the history of the community. And whereas Haysville has endured through the dedication and hard work of its residents, earning its reputation as the Peach Capital of Kansas, and whereas the citizens of Haysville have demonstrated remarkable resilience and significant spirit, most notably in the dauntless rebuilding of the community solidarity following the historic tornado of May 3rd, 1999. And whereas today, Haysville exemplifies Kansas values, offering a high quality of life, award-winning schools, and a welcoming sense of community that has a small town feel while embracing future growth. And whereas the 75th anniversary of incorporation serves as an opportunity for residents and visitors alike to celebrate the history, progress, and future of this great Kansas community. Now therefore, I, Russ Kessler, Mayor of the City of Haysville, Kansas, proclaim July 3rd, 2026 as the 75th anniversary of the City of Haysville on behalf of the council, staff, and residents. Proclaimed today, the 8th day of June, 2026. So the second proclamation is Business Appreciation Month. Whereas June has been designated as Business Appreciation Month for the last 2 decades by the Kansas Department of Commerce to recognize businesses across the state for the important contributions they make to our communities. And whereas Haysville businesses provide essential employment opportunities to a diverse workforce, embrace innovative technologies, provide local tax revenues, and make other significant contributions to our community that promote opportunities for the economic well-being of our citizens. And whereas the City of Haysville is pleased to recognize the accomplishments of the businesses and industries that reside in Haysville. And whereas Business Appreciation Month offers the citizens of the City of Haysville an opportunity to recognize Haysville businesses for the essential role they play in increasing the quality of life of our citizens. Now, therefore, I, Russ Kessler, Mayor of the City of Haysville, Kansas, on behalf of the council, staff, and residents, hereby proclaim June as Business Appreciation Month. Dated today, the 8th day of June, 2026. So we definitely enjoy our businesses, and, you know, they do play a great part in our community. All right, next we have presentation and approval of minutes. Minutes of May 11th, 2026. Councilperson Parton?
I make a motion we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of May 11th as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Clothier. Yes. Parton,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 1, public comment. If there's any members of the public that would like to speak on anything on the agenda or off the agenda? Seeing no one, I will move on to item 2, approval of licenses and bonds. We have none tonight. Item 3, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. A resolution of the City of Haysville, Kansas, authorizing a conditional use permit, the construction and operation of a self-service storage warehouse at 7474 South Broadway Avenue. Kaylin, call.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this conditional use was presented to Planning Commission on May 14th, and they did recommend approval, subject to staff's recommended conditions. Those conditions are that 1, to achieve a harmonious and organized appearance, although cargo containers must be painted the same color or grouped in rows or sections by color, and 2, the cargo containers may be exempt from the screening requirements prescribed in Appendix E 5063. You have the staff report that was presented at the Planning Commission, the minutes, and the site plan, and then I've also passed out some photos from the applicant. He is here tonight, and I can also stand for some questions.
Councilperson Parton.
Looking this over, I'm just not really happy with the idea of having cargo containers as a building. We have enough complaints about Broadway being trashy and wanting us to clean it up. I don't feel like that's gonna make a good impression. And as far as exempting the fencing, we can't start that now. We start that now, then the next people will come in and gonna say, well, you exempted it for them, exempt it for me. So I don't feel like we should exempt that. I noticed he's got the entrance off of Broadway. When the trucking company wanted to come in here and do that, they couldn't get an entrance off of Broadway. Have they checked that with Broadway? Are they gonna be able to do that?
The plat that's been submitted does have access control. I would need to contact KDOT to confirm that they're okay with.
Yeah, cause I know
The
when the
opening.
trucking company wanted to go in there, they weren't allowed to put it off of Broadway.
There's already an established driveway, I do know that.
But they were still not allowed to put it off Broadway, they were gonna have to come off of Blossom. So, but that's my thoughts, I'm not real thrilled with the cargo containers, cause I think it's gonna make it look cheap. And the fencing, we can't exempt the fencing, cause you get that started at past practices, it's gonna go back to bite us.
Councilman Myers.
Yeah, I'll agree that at first glance, thinking about shipping containers, that they can definitely be an eyesore. In the military, we do a lot of this. This is a lot of our storage yards are like that, and they're not exactly beautiful looking, but I mean, especially if they're in rows and the same color, I think that it's somewhat acceptable. I do have concerns as well. Rodents and animal infestation underneath them. They have pockets underneath. And foxes, you name it, can live underneath them, so I think that should be considered. I don't know if we can put anything in there saying that they have to do anything in regards to that, but I think that it should be considered by the landowner that, or the business owner, that they could potentially get infestations of rodents, of all kinds of things underneath the buildings, or not buildings, but the shipping containers. Additionally, did they require a drainage plan for this or no?
Yes,
They
a drainage plan is required with the plat that they're submitting.
Okay, and then it's gonna be all weather surface, like,
The applicant has proposed to do gravel
Yeah.
underneath all of the cargo containers and
Okay.
on all the lot.
okay. And then, vehicle storage, is vehicle storage gonna be allowed on the front end?
Vehicle storage would have required a additional conditional use
Mm-hmm,
if they wanted to do like RVs, is that what you're
yeah,
suggesting?
exactly.
That would be a vehicle storage yard, and they are
Okay.
not approved.
So they're not approved for storage. Okay, because I'm worried about, clutter, and I guess on that note, how much additional, if there is no screening, is there additional outdoor storage that's gonna potentially occur, especially in the frontage, between the shipping containers and the fence? Are they gonna start putting other things in there is my question, I guess. Or is there anything in subdivision regulations that would stop them from doing that?
There might be something in the zoning regulations, I don't have it memorized,
Yeah.
but we do regulate outdoor storage in the industrial
Okay.
district.
And then, and on the screening or not, I think there's a couple valid points of having no screening would be, their shipping containers and the orientation of them orients the sides towards the street. So that it gives opportunities for signage on the shipping containers themselves. And I don't know if that's the intent, but on that note, would it be allowed for them to do signage and art? Because as written, it says one color. So I don't know if we want to add a little thing saying one color with allowance for signage and, murals or whatever on the frontage, because that could potentially make it look better even if they do murals, say. I don't want to corner them to where it's only white, so.
That would be something we'd have to explicitly allow.
Yeah.
One, because I've put that they all have to be the same color, but also in our sign code or in Appendix 506, I'm not sure which one,
Yeah.
we don't require we don't allow signs on the side of cargo containers.
Oh, so they would have to be white. And then that would bring up the conversation of, do we want to amend the code to allow it? Do we want to allow, because look at the Wave downtown. Does everybody know what the Wave is or no? So the Wave is a concert venue downtown, and it's shipping containers. But they have graphics and stuff like that on it, and it looks decent. I mean, it looks industrial, but that's the idea of it. So I mean, and this is another side conversation of, would we want to change that to allow them to do artwork or whatever, or dress it up so it's not just plain old containers. But on the other note on screening would be that by blocking it from the street, it gives them an unfair disadvantage in that they can't, or not they, but people can't necessarily see what it is. And this is a publicly allowed thing that we should all be able to store in, right? So it kind of makes it more open to the public and more visibility for the public to know to use it, I guess. And then a concern was theft, that screening it would allow for potential theft, or not allow for potential theft, but screen for the thieves too, right? I did talk to the VFW commander across, catty corner across the street. He requested there be screening. He is working on kind of dressing up his building. So, it's kind of like, if he's working on making his building better, why is the guy across the street not? But also note that they're doing trees, right? So they have to plant trees, and I think that would have a bigger impact overall than screening, especially when the trees mature. So those are just some talking points. I think, you answered my question about the drainage. That's all I have for that.
Councilman Brewster?
Yeah, so city ordinance 5062-B, not to be used as a base platform or location for business identification signs or temporary signs, so that's what you were talking about. How many, and I already know the answer, but how many storage facility places do we have in Haysville?
I think that's in the staff report.
Yeah, it was on
I think it was 12 at the planning commission, isn't that what you?
it was on
Mhm.
I might have missed it on
Yeah.
the staff report, 12,
It
right?
said 12 in my staff report. That's how many we have business licenses for.
I'm struggling with this just because I think we can do something better with this property, so. 'Cause we already have 12 storage facilities in our community, so. That's all I have, Mayor.
Councilman Walters?
I'm hearing some of the comments and I'm agreeing with them. The issue about screening, I think, is rather important to the community. I also thinking the rodents might be an issue. I've got rabbits underneath my deck, I don't want them. But the third thing, I haven't heard anything about surveillance. I would propose that we send it back and have them look at those three issues specifically if we wanted to continue this. I'd make a motion to send it back to have them look at screening rodents and surveillance.
To the planning commission.
To the planning commission, yes.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to send it back to the planning commission to review to review it for screening, rodents, and what was it?
Surveillance.
Was it surveillance?
Yeah, put surveillance up to see
Oh,
what's going on.
All right, there any discussion? Councilman Myers?
Just on Councilman Brewster's comment that like, I agree that, you know, it's probably not, I don't think anybody in the city is excited about more storage units, you know, but, you know, it's not for us to dictate what landowners are doing with their land when they're in compliance with subdivision code, you know? I mean, we didn't have any incentives on this. I don't think they're getting any incentives for this. Do we know? No? Yeah, so it's not like we're encouraging this like we are other businesses. But I don't want, I mean, kind of sadly, you know, we can't say how you can't do that because we don't like the kind of business that you're doing there. Ultimately, we need to see, are they in compliance with subdivision code? If they are, allow it pretty much, you know, and then, you know, here they're asking for an exemption. And also, yeah, the using shipping containers for actual buildings, I think is a concern too. And I mean that as in like the entirety of the business is kind of a concern to me, because then that opens up the door for more businesses just thinking that they can just plop shipping containers on a plot and say that they're a whatever, a mechanic's shop, a woodworking shop, or whatever. And do we really want that? So that's the other thing. I would even amend yours to, and I don't know if that's, is there anything that's saying that you can't do shipping containers for business? Or you said it was, you can't put signs on them.
Signage.
But like, to have just a shipping container and no actual structures, because they're like temporary structures, right? Technically, how does that work out?
For this specific project, our building inspector is requiring stamped engineering footings for the
Mhm.
cargo containers.
Oh, okay.
And I assume that's how he would go forward with any other type of business that wanted to
So
do
it's
something
just
similar.
And what about, don't they need secondary egress or no? Like,
Secondary.
I guess there's nobody living in it is what yeah, right?
That would be a building inspector question.
Yeah, because I know that like with building homes and shipping containers, you need to have a door in the back, so that if the fire breaks out in the front, you can get out the back. I'm sure you're aware. So that would, and I'm just thinking of other issues with just using shipping containers, and my concern is it becoming a trend, really.
Right.
And I don't want it to be a trend personally. You know, I don't have a problem with companies using storage containers, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many, but a whole lot of them. And then if we get a pattern of this across the city, because if we allow one, we're gonna have to allow a bunch of them. So at the same time, I don't want to, you know, obviously this gentleman has spent a lot of time preparing this, and this is his dreams of doing this, so I don't want to squash his idea. And I realize that building a building out of actual, you know, steel frame building is significantly probably more expensive, so I get it. You know, he's trying to be cost effective. But yeah, that's it.
You said you wanted to amend the proposal?
Yeah, and I don't know if it would even be called for of adding, like, of using the shipping and I guess as long as it's on the on footings, it falls within engineering code and whatnot. So I don't think we would have to, but it just, I don't know. I guess I'd have to dig more into the exact code around shipping containers. But it was my understanding that, you know, you can't necessarily build buildings out of them without, I guess, yeah, you get the engineering plans, and that's what it is. So, and he's doing that, so I think we're fine on that, so, yeah.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Mayor?
Yes.
Can we have clarification what they want on screening? Because what was your motion? You said you want for
Sure.
screening?
Yeah, I sent it back to planning to look at the screening, not for the exemption, but what kind of screening, put a significant screening that you don't necessarily see it from Broadway.
Okay, so you want just to clarify for planning commission, so that their statement going back to them, you want what screening would be going up?
Right, I think
Okay, that's what I want to know.
what I'm hearing in the council is indicating that without screening, it's probably not going to go at all.
Okay,
Well,
just want to clarify for planning commission what you're sending back to them.
Okay.
I would say that I don't, obviously not everybody has spoken, but I think it's kind of a split on whether or not screenings would be required. I'm fine with no screening, you know? So I don't know if we want to do a separate vote after this to figure out if we want to allow the screening, because that's what ultimately, he's asking for the approval of the project and the screening thing. So maybe we can do your vote and then do another vote specifically on whether or not we will allow screening, and then we can figure out if zoning can figure that out after what screening.
We can only have the one vote.
No, I'm saying after that vote.
No, because it's going back to planning.
It's going back.
You can't
have more than
We're
one.
not voting to do.
They need to look at the screening, 'cause like I said, the exemption to the, we're not gonna start that. The exemption to the fencing, screening on Broadway with everybody griping
I think the.
about
oh, sorry.
what Broadway looks like.
I think that my argument in that would be that if you go there and look, or even on Google Maps and look at the rest of it, nobody has screening.
Because we didn't
So-
have that until 5 years ago.
But it's only for shipping containers, right? The screening isn't required for light industrial, correct?
It's required for outdoor storage in the light industrial district.
Outdoor storage,
If you-
okay. But these are buildings,
These are buildings.
so they're not doing outdoor storage.
For this specific project, he's required to screen because he's using cargo containers.
And that's where it comes in for the screening. But the neighboring units do not have screening, like the whole stretch, there's no screening, or very little screening, I should say, because I'm sure there might be one or two. But like Haysville Rental Center, no screening. The both adjoining lots, no screening. So it almost will just be like one blacked out lot, you know, when everyone else, you can see what they're doing back there. So,
Mr. Black, you have a comment?
Yeah, I would just say a lot of what we do in the zoning code is to try to gain conformance over the years.
Yeah.
So we put something in, and at the time we put it in, nobody has it.
yeah,
Or wouldn't put it in, or only a few people have it. So we put it in there, and when something comes up where there's development or plating, and they come up with the plan, we wanna make sure that they're following the current zoning code, so we get everybody into compliance over the years. We're not forcing somebody
Yeah.
that doesn't have it, once we put the code in, we don't make somebody go back and do it, but if they're coming to us with a new project, and
Mhm.
it's in the code, then we wanna get it going. That's how the zoning code works over the years.
so a slow shift to how we want. But the only thing with that is the neighboring lots, unless they do outdoor storage, are not gonna get screening.
And there could be other things where they could require screening. I mean,
Yeah,
Caitlin stated the one response to outdoor storage and light industrial does require screening. There may be other uses that require screening as well, so that'd be something
Okay.
we have to look into.
so for example, like Hazel Rental Center should have screening, because they're in outdoor storage, or no?
I'd have to look at the zoning.
Okay,
They were
so
grandfathered in.
I just don't want them to be the only one that's being required screening on this whole stretch, you know, and then them be kind of a sore thumb. I mean, they're gonna be a sore thumb either way, being what they are, but with having the screening, and then additionally, it almost makes it look like it's not accessible. You know, having the screening up makes it look like it's not publicly accessible. It makes it look more private, because you can't even see what it is back there. So, I don't know.
You can't see what Park Avenue storage is, and they got the big cement fence around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But people have, I mean, that looks like it's full all the time.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Councilperson Hebert?
Well, down on South Seneca, there is a storage unit, and it's pretty good size. They have a black wrought iron fence, and they put up trees in front of the fence to, and that looks nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be object to that, but,
With no screening, it's a fence.
no
with-
screening.
Yeah,
'cause of that, I mean, once the trees are matured, you can't see it anyway. But then getting the trees matured, maybe they should buy mature trees.
yeah, I agree with you on that, no screening, but trees would be sufficient, you know,
But anyway, that's my
yeah.
2 cents.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Somebody like to read back the motion?
Georgie, did you get enough clarification on what we're going to ask planning commission? 'Cause I still don't know.
Do you?
From my understanding, we're looking for a compromise between screening and security at planning commission.
And the rodents too.
I think what I was trying to also support was the exemption be eliminated,
Okay.
essentially. That's where I was going. So to go back and talk about how do we take care of that? And I think through screening, that would take care of that exemption. There may be another way, but that was my issue on that.
With screening, surveillance, and rodents.
Rodents, yes.
Where rodents being underneath the storage units.
So the motion that I have is motion by Walters to send it back to the planning commission to look at recommendations for screening, rodent control, and surveillance.
It is
Can
staff understand as far as what needs to be taken back to planning?
Kaylin?
Yeah,
Do you understand what needs to be taken back to
I do.
planning?
Mhm.
Councilman Myers?
Can we as the council, like, make them do surveillance? Is that even on our, I mean,
There was a suggestion to look at that.
no, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't wanna be out of line with what, authority we have over businesses, like, in making them have to do surveillance. And I'm sure he will, right?
And most
But-
of them have surveillance because
Yeah.
that's how.
I would think so. I mean, you brought up the
And it
idea
doesn't
of
work half
theft,
the time
so I
either.
thought, well,
Yeah.
maybe we could do their surveillance.
If you're doing the screening to
When it's all
have
successful,
surveillance,
they're
that's that, I get what your line of thought is.
We just stay one person at a time talking.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, yeah. All
Any
right,
other discussion? Josh, are you okay with that motion?
I think the motion is clear after it's been repeated, so.
Okay. All right, any further discussion before we call for a vote? All right, Angie?
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes.
Cloutier,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Myers,
yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, nice for him.
I know, right? All right, next item 4, notices and communications, governing body announcements. Any governing body have any announcements? Councilman Brewster.
Haysville Community Library, they have a lot of things going on this month. 10:30 on June 9th, 10:30. Parents as teachers, summer story time. The same day, 3 p.m., they have a summer matinee, The Ice Age. June 10th, 10 a.m., a special performance by Alan Cunningham. June 11th, 3 to 6 p.m., summer activities, Salt with Play-Doh. June 13th, 9 to noon, Vintage Days dinosaur cookie decorating. June 16th, 10:30, parents as teachers. June 16th, also another summertime matinee, The Crudes 2. June 17th, 10 to 11, and 1 to 2, a special event at Astra Planetarium. June 17th, from 4 to 6 p.m., is the Lego Club. June 18th, 3 to 6, is a summer activity, origami. June 23rd, parents as teachers, summer story time. June 23rd, another summer matinee, The Land Before Time. June 24th, a special performance. Will be Didgeridoo Down Under. The 25th, from 10 to noon, summer activity, rock planning, 7 p.m., library board meeting. June 30th, parents as teachers, summertime story time. And then June 30th, 3 p.m., summer matinee, The Good Dinosaur. So thank you for reading all that. I know that our library is very busy June, July, and August because of all the summer activities for our kids, and I greatly appreciate that, so thank you.
Thank you. Any other council members have any other announcements? Councilman Myers?
Yeah, OxyChem Community Involvement Group is having a meeting tomorrow, June 9th, 6:15 at the Learning Center. They're giving a presentation on PPE and industrial hygiene. And this is the chemical plant that's behind the Garvey Green Elevator. The next meeting after that is September 15th, and that one is their corrective actions and remediation efforts. If you're gonna make it to any of their meetings, make it to that one on the 15th of September. That's the one where they go over the EPA Superfund spills that they've done and all the remediation that they've had to do and what their plans are moving forwards to try to mediate the plume, which is my primary concern, because where I live, I'm actually the closest to it. So, and it probably will never hit me, but I mean, eventually it's just gonna spread and spread, and they're trying to mediate it right now, remediate it. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Is that at the Learning Center?
That's at the Haysville Learning Center, yes.
Both
sorry.
of them are? Okay,
Both
thank
of
you.
them at 6:15.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, any other announcements? I have a couple. First one is for the senior center updates. Movie and dining outing, June 10th. Game night on June 11th. Commodities, June 17th. Wine tasting outing, June 18th. The senior center and the hustle will be closed for the holiday on June 19th. Paint party, June 22nd. Water bucket ball, June 25th. And luau on the June 26th. Some ongoing programs, coffee and conversation, card games, crafts, bingo, exercise classes, Alzheimer's support group, and line dancing. There you go.
That's good.
Yeah. I have a couple more. First one is the 75th anniversary of Haysville, the July 3rd. So everyone is invited to attend or to join us on July 3rd at 11 a.m. at the community library for a quick ceremony. We're also having a cake and hot dogs. We'll also be opening up a time capsule. Should be exciting. We're also taking submissions for a new time capsule through June 18th. So it's through next Thursday, I think that is. You can find the forms at City Hall or on the website. They're under quick links, forms, time capsule submission form. So there you can go there and fill out the form if you would like to put a submission in for something to be entered into the time capsule. The next item is business appreciation. So we have an appreciation event next Monday, June 15th, from 2:30 to 4:30. It's at the community library. Businesses make a significant contribution to our city. So just another way that we can show our support to our Haysville businesses. There's also a gift basket giveaway, so you don't have to be present to win, but we'd invite all the businesses to come and community just to show our support to the businesses in Haysville. That's all I have. And on that, we have a lot of things going out. We have had a lot of things going on lately, a lot of great things happening in Haysville. So our website and our Facebook page has a lot of this stuff, and you can also sign up for weekly notifications to receive information as far as what's going on in the city. So that's a good avenue to have. All right, next is item B, memo regarding new business licenses. We have 3 businesses included on this memo. Item C, the Sedgwick County Fire Department Station 34 monthly report. Item 5, old business. A, memo regarding burden on staff. Councilman Myers?
All right, so I've spoken to many Haysville residents and the majority are opposed to the current situation. The overwhelming public opinion is this conflict should be fixed. The issue is that the city engineer does have a significant interest with their employer, PEC, and they should refrain from reviewing and handling anything as the city engineer involving projects that involve PEC. None of the surrounding cities use PEC as an engineer, and a vast majority of the surrounding cities have an engineer on staff. When it comes to reviewing or approval, we should ensure our city's decisions are not made by people with conflict of interest. Allowing conflicts like this will continue to hurt the trust of the people. I think trying to find a solution myself might have been a misstep. I propose instead that the city staff find a solution to stopping this conflict of interest from continuing rather than my proposed amendment. But ultimately, House rules. And if the majority of the council does not have an issue with allowing this conflict of interest to continue, we can move on from this topic. So with that, I make a motion to vote if this conflict is the motion is to vote if this conflict of interest is an issue, the conflict of interest with PEC engineering. So. You want me to second?
I'll second it.
All right.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second. Could you repeat your motion?
The motion is to vote if the conflict of interest with the PEC engineer is an issue or not. And this is just to get the consensus of the council of where you stand. And if it fails, then we move on with life and we don't talk about this again. So if it passes, then we direct city staff to figure out a solution to fix this.
So it's if a conflict of interest is a,
I'm sorry?
what was the motion again? Sorry.
To vote of whether or not this is a conflict, if the council members feel that this is a conflict of an interest, that it's an issue or not. That if it's an issue with them.
That's an issue with PEC.
That it's an issue with the council members. I'm trying to get a feel if the council, so if you're voting yes, then you think it is an issue. And if you vote no, then you think it's not an issue and it can be allowed to continue. Does that make sense? Does everybody understand? It's not a motion for action. This is just a motion for a vote to see where everyone stands with this, because
You're not gonna get mad if we vote no.
no, I'm not gonna get mad if you vote no, but I
Yes, you
mean,
did with Bob, that's
no.
right.
Well, that was for having the attorney review it, right? That's different. That was just to try to help me figure this out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
Angie, could you read back that motion?
Okay, motion by Myers to vote if the conflict of interest with PEC engineer is an issue with council members.
yes.
Okay, there was a second as well, right?
Yes, Thompson seconded,
One,
and then Brewster seconded.
All right, discussion, Councilman Walters.
Well, it's kind of been answered, but I was going to ask to rephrase that as a yes or a no vote, rather than is it this or is it that?
So, to vote,
Councilperson Burton.
Well, we got the letter from PEC detailing how they do things separately, and we also know that, the planning commissioner refrains from voting on anything that has PEC on it.
Councilman Myers.
yeah, so the councilman, or not the planning commissioner, the chair of the planning board, he abstains because he's an employee. So should the engineer, right? The engineer has a conflict of interest. It is a conflict of interest. The difference is we don't not allow it in our code, right? It is a conflict of interest without debate. The issue, the difference is that our code, as written, allows it. And then if you're okay with it, then whatever, we move on with life. But if you're not okay with it, as I'm not okay with it, then we can work on trying to figure out a solution to fix it, rather than my proposed solution that I came up with last time.
Councilman Brewster.
So I don't believe this is a conflict of interest, and also, one of our neighboring communities is in an $8 million lawsuit that's been going on for, I believe, 5 years, because all the engineering firms are pointing fingers at each other. I think this is one avenue where we have everybody, the subject matter experts, looking at what they're doing, and they know all of our plans, they know how we do everything. So I don't wanna see us end up in an $8 million lawsuit, and I think hiring another firm is just gonna cost taxpayer more money for oversight that we don't need. And that's what I've been from day one, is I think this is a waste of everybody's time. But I'll entertain the vote, so.
Any other discussion? Question, please.
Real quick, sorry, can you read the motion again to make sure?
To vote if this conflict of interest with PEC engineering is an issue with council members. So my understanding is if the vote is yes, then you see it as a conflict of interest.
Yes.
Thank you.
Question, please.
Brewster,
No.
Walters,
No.
Ewert,
No.
Clothier,
No.
Harden,
No,
Myers,
Yes.
Thompson.
No. All right.
Okay, we will move on to item 6, other business. A, considerations of bids for Sandy and A Street water line replacement. Tony?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The bid letting for the construction of the Sandy Avenue and A Street water line was held on May 27th. As a reminder, the engineer's estimate was just over $286,000. Staff is recommending approval of the best bid from No Walk Construction Company Incorporated in the amount of $276,509.15. This is a budgeted item and will be paid out of water contractual funds. I stand for any questions you may have.
Councilperson Horton.
I make a motion we accept the bid from NOAC Construction in the amount of $276,509.15.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consideration of bid as presented. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Ewert,
Yes.
Clothier. Yes. Harden,
Yes,
Myers.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Thank you.
Next, we have item B, consideration of agreement with Christopher Davis regarding court probation services. So there is a memo in your packet. Anybody have any questions on that? If not, someone like to make a motion, Councilman Walters?
Yeah, I have some questions. What changed? Why are we looking at paying him now versus before? What happened?
I'll let Josh answer.
I don't know specifically why he's requesting this. The information that I understand is that Chris acts as a contractual employee in essence for a bunch of municipalities around, and then he's requesting the same situation, a written agreement and $75 for him to show up to court. In essence, what happens is when someone has probation, they have to pay Chris, and then he handles all the background, the drug screening, all that stuff. He'll write a report for the judge when it comes to pre-sentencing and things of that nature. So previously, the city does not pay him to provide those services. So this is just conjecture, but I think sometimes he'll show up to court and he won't have any work to do, in essence, and he has to drive and be here for that afternoon. But that being said, if you have specific questions you'd like me to direct to him, I'd be more than happy to do that, and then, report back.
Yes, my specific question would be, why doesn't he charge the people that he's dealing with versus the taxpayers? I know it's not a lot, but still, why are we adding burden to the taxpayers?
For troublemakers.
Councilperson Pardon?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it looks like he is charging them, the individuals, but like Josh said, I think it's got to do with the fact that if he shows up and nothing happens or he has no work, then he showed up for nothing for a whole afternoon.
Exactly.
For a probation officer, $75 for an 4 or 5 hours, however long they're here, that's not a whole lot. And it just makes it worth his time to drive down here.
Okay, I guess I don't understand where he's coming or why as a probation officer coming to court, why he would know what is on the docket.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's on the docket, but you don't know what the judge is gonna do or what they're gonna come up with, or,
If I may, so, he comes every month on the same date. Now, there are times when, he'll get a case that day and he'll sign someone up, at that time. There could be other times at that docket where we don't generate a case that he necessarily has to deal with. So, just to give you an example, so, obviously if he has someone that's gonna be on the docket, obviously he knows that ahead of time. But I couldn't tell you how many times that he necessarily has someone that's coming back as opposed to him just being there that day and may or may not, get a new case.
It doesn't seem right to me to charge, though, the taxpayers. I mean, if he needs to increase his fees or whatever, how he does that, to those he's dealing with, maybe that would be a better solution than asking greater tax burden on our wards.
Well, if you guys would like to table it, I'd be more than happy to, communicate those questions to him and get
Yeah.
you guys responses, next meeting, so.
Councilman Walters?
In that case, I would like to table that, these answers for the next meeting. Is there any other questions that need to be asked of him?
I'll second that.
Do we have a motion and a second to table this agreement with Christopher Davis? And Josh, do you have what needs to be answered or asked? Or
Yeah, just, I think more information about why he's changing
Yeah.
the situation.
And if he can't charge that to his,
Yeah, thank
the
you.
folks that he deals with, yeah.
Yeah,
I can see his point to it, but yet, I don't wanna pay for it.
Right.
well, let me inquire to him and then see if he either wants to attend the next meeting or
Yeah,
he
that would
provide
be-
a written
that would be
statement
good.
or
Yeah.
something like that. to you guys,
Yeah, see
Okay,
if he'd come.
sounds good.
We got a second on that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
From Myers, okay.
Any further discussion?
It's really quiet, but it was.
Question, please.
Brewster?
Yes.
Walters?
Yes.
Hebert?
Yes.
Clothier? Yes. Pardon?
yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Thompson?
Yes.
All right, item 7, department reports. A, administrative services. George?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. As Mayor stated, our 75th anniversary celebration is coming up. We have T-shirts available to purchase here at City Hall. Also, Hometown Market is this Saturday from 8 to noon. It is our Vintage Day celebration, so there'll be a cavalry shootout, music, car show and lots of activities going on. That's all I have.
Thank you. Next, we have item B, City Clerk, Angie.
Good evening. Just want to make you aware of a couple of upcoming days off. City offices will be closed Friday, June 19th for Juneteenth, and Friday, July 3rd for the 4th of July holiday. Call 529-5912 if you have any water or sewer emergencies. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Police, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Our visiting officer this evening is Officer Noah Childers. He's currently assigned to our first shift patrol section. I'll say hi to him as you go by out there. Also, as we mentioned, the 4th of July is coming up, so it'll be here before our next council meeting. So just wanted to remind everybody that as they go out and celebrate, just remember the detonation times that we have, 8 a.m. to 10:30 from the 27th of this month through the 2nd of July. On the 3rd and 4th, it's 8 a.m. to midnight, which luckily this year is a Friday and Saturday, so hopefully not everybody will have to be up. Some people still work weekends, but the 3rd and the 4th are 8 a.m. to midnight. And then 8 a.m. to 10:30 on the 5th, which is a change for this year, so just keep that in mind. Also, 911 will operate their non-emergency line again this year. And we'll put more information out. We'll put the flyer out on social media and everything when we get a little bit closer to the 3rd, since we're still a few weeks out. Everybody will forget it between now and then if I just tell you. So, but we will put the flyer out here as it gets a little bit closer. But just for the information, they've kind of put that out in blocks this year. So it's just going to be June 27th through July 5th from 6 p.m. to 3 a.m. So during those times, if there's loud parties, firework complaints, things like that, call that number so that we're not clogging up the 911 line. Or if you do call 911, they're going to probably transfer you over there. So, but the more we can keep that line clear and use that alternative number, the better off we are for getting the fire calls, EMS calls, and police calls out there without clogging up the system. So that's all I've got, I believe. Thank you.
Councilman Brewster.
Chief, I just want to tell you thank you. I know I had 2 interactions with the officers this last week, and they were both positive interactions, and I appreciate all that our officers do for us, so thank you.
We've got a very good group of officers here.
Yes.
We're very proud of them. So,
All right, thank you.
yep, thank you.
All right, next we have Public Works, Tony.
The recycling center will be open on Saturday, June 27th from 10 a.m. to noon. And then this past Saturday, we held our annual citywide cleanup at Public Works. We had 94 residents utilize this recycling center this weekend. In comparison, in 2025, we had 64, and in 2024, we had 103.
All right, thanks, Tony. Next we have Recreation, Jenny. Good to see you today.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Quick updates, we will have Metro Ballet, Peter Pan will perform this Friday in Riggs Park at 7 p.m. Next Tuesday, we will have another swim meet, so the swimming pool will close at 4 p.m. We've talked a little bit about the 4th of July. We have a lot of activities, probably most of you know about it. We have the parade at 8 that will go from the middle school down to the United Methodist Church. We have a fishing derby, we have a cornhole tournament, we got frog races, we'll do free hot dogs and stuff, and then the pool's open. We'll close early at 5. We'll have food trucks and stuff later, and then the concert in the park there. The new thing that we have this year that we're doing, July is Parks and Rec Month, but we are also celebrating our 25th year for our Recreation Department, kind of that month. So we are doing various activities on most of the Tuesdays. So in conjunction with the celebration that you guys have at the library that morning, we will be doing a family swim free from 8:15 to 9:45 to kick off our Parks and Recs month. And then the 7th, we're gonna do a celebration, just little activities for the kids and stuff at Pear Tree Park. Then we're gonna do the splash pad on the 14th. We'll go to Dorner Park a Saturday morning for about 9 to 12, and we'll have fishing, pickleball, we'll have some food trucks there. And then on the 21st, we'll be over at Orchard Acre Park for some games and stuff. And then we'll end the month at Plagens Carpenter to do laser tag, disc golf, All of those will have like drinks, and then some are doing like snow cones or popsicles, balloon or bubble machines, just kind of various different things, but we're just trying to get people out in the park since July is Parks and Rec month, so that is new for us this year. And then, we are doing another adult pizza puzzles and pints, July 11th. Justin has been in that, and it is, really fun. Rob has thrown in a new option. Instead of just the 500-piece puzzle, he's offering a 1,000-piece puzzle now. So, if you have any time, free time, get signed up as a team. It sounds like they always have a blast, so. All right, thank you.
Oh, the kids park day Saturday was, pretty good. We're at Kirby Park, like a 6-day-old llama that was there.
Wow.
Very cute.
Yeah. They had a success. Frank said they had like 75 people or more, so.
It's always great to go to. All right, next we have item 8, appointments. Park board reappointments. We have 2 people like to reappoint for 2 years, Ken Bell and Terry Gray. Councilperson Parton.
Make a motion, we appoint Ken Bell and Terry Gray for 2-year appointments to the park board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to reappoint Ken Bell and Terry Gray for 2-year appointments. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Clothier,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Next, we have item B, Historic Committee reappointments. We have Brooke Azier. I'd like to reappoint her for a 2-year appointment. Councilperson Parton.
Make a motion, we appoint Brooke Azier to the Historic District for 2 years.
Second.
A motion and a second to reappoint Brooke Azier for 2 years to the Historic Committee. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Clothier,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 9, executive session. We have that scheduled. Item 10, review of expenditures. Summary of May expenditures. Councilperson Ewart.
I move that we receive and file the May expenditures.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file the May expenditures. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters,
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Clothier,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
All right, next we have item 11, the consent agenda. We have 3 items, a couple of special events, and a no fishing at Riggs Park prior to 4th of July fishing derby. Councilman Walters.
Make a motion, we approve this consent agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Councilperson Clothier? No, okay. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Ewart,
Yes.
Clothier,
Yes.
Parton,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Next, we have item 12, council items. Council concerns. Any council members have any concerns? Councilman Myers.
Yeah, not a concern, but starting a discussion. So I was talking with Will about the transient guest tax. We have approximately $330,000 in the transient guest tax fund. We're making it, this year, we're gonna make about $92,000, and we have about $80,000 this year already budgeted for that. So there's a bit of a surplus there. The purpose of the transient guest tax fund, so this is not from our taxpayers, is actually from people who stay at hotels, is to impact and promote economic development and promote economic welfare. This is actually where the facade grant came from. That's where the funding came from. So I would like to open up some conversations about something we can do with it, just ideas that we can do with it. I would like to see another round of facade grants. I think that's a very effective way of spending this money, and that these businesses could use some help. We can all look at them, and a lot of them are, not a lot of them, but some of them are pretty worn down and struggling. It's not easy to operate in a small city like this. So I think that that's a really good one. So I think first on the table would be, do we want to have the city refire that again? And then additionally from there would be, what are some other programs that we can think of or put out feelers for One thing that I was playing around with is starting some kind of arts program or an arts board, maybe even, similar to the park board, where we get citizens that, you know, are artsy and they want to, and I already have some people that are already saying, hey, I would love to get involved with this, that have been involved. Some of them are artists or just have been doing stuff like this. Because that $300,000 is a good chunk of money, and I think we could do some pretty cool projects with that. That could potentially draw people, you know, off the turnpike, come into Haysville, maybe stay the night, potentially draw more revenue through that transient guest tax fund. So yeah, I guess first on the table would be the facade grants, but yeah, go ahead. Are you on this topic or do you have a different topic? Okay.
I got, Councilperson Siebert.
Oh, did you see me?
Yes.
Sorry. I think this would be for Tony. I've been going through Facebook every once in a while, not very often, because I don't like it. Read on there the other day about somebody was accusing the city of flying drones over their house.
That's all.
Yeah.
Is that true? Just curious.
So drones, we have a drone that the Public Works Department utilizes.
Yeah.
We use it for code enforcement cases.
Okay.
As of date of the May council meeting, we have 153 code enforcement cases.
Okay.
Out of those, we utilize the drone 4 times, which amounts to about 2.61% of total cases. We only use the drone when the property owner is abrasive, violent, or verbally accosting our staff. We utilize it as a tool to keep our staff safe. I will not put our code enforcement officer or my other staff in harm's way. If we can't see the rear property, you know, if it's obstructed by trees, buildings, or it's a large property, we utilize at that point. The main thing is out of 153 cases out of May of the calendar year, we've used it 4 times.
Okay, well, that's good, that we've only had to use it 4 times.
Thank you, Councilperson Parton.
But do you actually fly it over their property? Don't you just at the property line?
I've flown the drone before years ago. It's not super simple to keep it where you want
Right.
it, but you absolutely try to. In our policy we have, you're supposed to fly it above the right of way or public street. I won't get up here and say absolutely no way, shape, or form do we fly above somebody's private property. Josh made comment, but I think we've had city legal opinion. There's no state law that prevents you from flying over somebody's private property, but we do not act that way. We do not do that.
And the advice I've given staff is to not fly it over someone's house, but to just take it up over the street, and then if they need to take pictures from the public right of way, that's good.
Okay.
About doing, so.
What altitude is that, Tony? Roughly?
I don't know. I know we, like, our code enforcement officer has all his FAA license, it's drone operator's license. We had to get special permission from McConnell on a section of town east of Haysville. He updates that every year that he has to.
They can only fly up to 400 feet.
Is that what it is?
We also don't have a heaven to hell rule, meaning the FAA dictates the airspace. So theoretically, and I'm Josh, you can counter this if you want, but we could fly over property if we want to.
Yeah.
There's been 4 Supreme Court cases about this, but they weren't drones, they were with helicopters and fixed-winged aircraft too, so.
Like, the important thing, may interrupt, I'm sorry, is just we use it to investigate a complaint. We don't use it to take it to municipal court and, you know, file a charge. We don't use drone photos at all for municipal court. It's only to investigate an issue. At times, we can use it to get a quote from our abatement contractor. Because if we're having issues with a property owner, the last thing we're gonna do is put a contractor in front of them as well.
And, Councilman Myers.
So I did talk to that lady on Facebook, and from what I understand, she was not in compliance. There was some things that she needed to fix, and she recognized that. The drone was not used. The drone was not used on her house. So I mean, the claims that the drone was used was, you know, exaggerated, false. So that should be noted that they weren't doing what she was claiming in that post.
Well, she did take it down, so,
She took the post down? Yeah. I mean, I think she realized
because
that she was accusing things that were not happening. So,
I personally sent to her, well, I didn't go to her personally,
Yeah.
face to face, but I
Yeah.
sent her a message.
You reached out to her, yeah, so, yeah, I did too. So,
And, Councilman Brewster.
On the facade grant and the art board, I would be willing to entertain both of those. I think we kinda got lost, cause I think there's
Yeah.
more discussion on that. I would entertain both.
I
of
didn't
those.
make a motion, that was my fault. Okay.
Go ahead. Councilperson Park.
I would like to see us, if we're gonna go back with the facade grants, let's make it specifically for Broadway.
That would be good.
Yeah,
Start there.
yeah, that's a really good
Be a
idea.
good-
That way, there's I mean, it's like,
Target.
when we did the sked thing, it was specific areas. Let's do this on Broadway and get some movement there. And then as far as arts being painted, $330,000, we got more than enough. The back of the garage, the police garage, we never did do anything with that,
And we were going to.
and we were going to.
That's been how many years ago?
We did reach out to campus.
More than once.
Well, you may not be able to get campus to do it, but there's plenty of
For hire,
for hired
yeah.
artists.
Or even.
We, as a PTO at middle school, we hired somebody to do the two ends of the main hall there.
Yeah.
So, there's people
Yeah, we
to,
had
Will.
somebody do ours and they'll.
Yeah, Will, yeah.
I would just say, and I did mention some of this in the emails with Councilmember Myers about the money that's in there. And the budget that we have is set at that 92,000 on revenue. What we've received over the last 10 years, we averaged 75,000 revenue coming in. Over the last 3, that's bumped up to 81,000. So as we do in budgeting, and you'll see it as we go through the budget every year, we budget higher than, and then on the expenditure side, also budget the full amount that's available there. So that's for budget authority purposes. And then I would like to continue to see incentives offered out of this. And if art falls under something that council wants to use it for, it falls under economic development, then that's fine. But I would like the council to continue to consider the grants and paying for all of those out of here. Because we have several grants that are available that people have not utilized at this point for the dessert, the different restaurants that we have. And when those all come up, that can not deplete the fund, but it can take the funds down relatively quickly if we start hitting on those.
Councilman Myers.
Absolutely, Will. I agree that, we don't want to deplete all of it. I think that's for sure. But I think $300,000, we could probably spend 100 or half of it, say. I don't know what you feel comfortable with bringing it down to, but even $200,000 is still 130 on the table, and there's money in, money out. So I think that yes, we do need to consider it. We're not going to blow through all of it. Yeah, that's valid. But I don't think that was the intention either way. On the note of like what projects we need to do, I think that's where it'd be really good if we made a board, and that way we can have a separate group of people figure out where the priorities are, what kind, because I'm already talking with people at the Chamber of Commerce on doing business art projects where the businesses will pay for the art, right? Because I think that's another, that makes the $200,000 into even more, because now we have corporations like myself and Oxy and a couple other companies around town that are willing to donate multi-$1,000 as a write-off, and then the city could potentially do a part of, paying for the pedestal, through that fund. So I think that ultimately, we should delegate it out to a board. So I think the first motion, let's go to the facade grants. My first motion would be to, do I have to make a motion for this, or is there a consensus on the council?
I would not think we need a motion. I would like
Okay.
to see if council would like to offer them once a year or twice a year, the total amount they'd like to do for each of
Okay.
the offerings, and then that would be enough direction. I
I-
believe.
So the one we just did was,
5K.
$25,000
total.
total.
Yeah.
I think a refire on the same one that we just did, $5,000 per person, 50% match, so they're putting money on the table too, and make it for the
Broadway corridor.
Yeah, on Broadway. I think that's a good target.
Next year, refire the first one, refire the second one.
Yeah, and maybe change the road, change
Well, Broadway's gonna take a while. Put one, anybody, and then the other one's Broadway.
Yeah, no, Broadway needs a lot of love, but also realize that Broadway is not really where we're trying to attract people to. It's Main
But
Street.
it's the
you know,
biggest part of what everybody gripes about.
Yes.
Complaining about, I think it
Yes.
will,
First
yeah,
thing they
yeah, that's
see
another
Because
point.
traffic going to
Go with
casino and everything else,
Mhm.
that's the biggest part they complain about. So let's get some incentive out there
I'll agree.
for them people to do something.
Yeah, so the same amount, but targeting Broadway.
Okay. Yeah, we can work on that.
Okay,
So,
and then,
I think Broadway is looking a lot better.
Yeah,
Except
With
for
the
where that
sidewalk
car lot
too,
is
right?
at the corner of 63rd and Seneca.
I think ultimately
that's
on,
not us.
on Broadway, with the sidewalk being there, we need to consider putting something along the
Is
way
that not
besides the
us?
sidewalk, like,
I thought it was.
Hudson.
Yeah,
I mean,
from
the old
63rd
Hudson
south.
Station. It is, but I'm just saying.
so I don't need a motion for that. So additionally, I guess the next step would be, is there a need, do we want to make a, arts board? Volunteer, no expense, volunteer arts board, where it'd be, I don't know, how many people are normally on a board like that, 4 members?
Normally 4, sometimes it's 4
Yeah.
with the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, yeah, really just depends.
Okay.
Will, you have something?
I know, with the, not knowing exactly where we wanna have the art, is there any way this could be a subcommittee or a subgrouping of a board we already
Yeah.
have, so we don't have to establish a new board?
Okay.
And I don't know if that's fair or not, but that's just something I'd like to at least look at or discuss.
Art board?
I think the problem with that is that there's people who are very into the art part and they want to be very involved with the art, but they don't want to be in the park part. Or, for example, if we put it in the park board. So I understand where you're going with this because we don't want to have too many boards and stuff. But I mean, like for instance, Salina has a whole department of art. Now, obviously, they're bigger than us and they're been doing it for longer with the arts and stuff. But I think that having a specific board of artsy people would benefit more than trying to squeeze it into an existing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be an ongoing board because, if we have a surplus, we have like 300K. So like it could be just like an action group that just, one time kind of thing. Like, hey, let's get a group of people together that are like-minded to build a program, and they walk away. And then, so maybe that's what we would want to do. Is that the correct term, like an action group, or what would the term for that be? I don't know.
And that sounds fine to me. I don't know if there's a legal term.
Yeah. So I would make a motion to do I have to make a motion for this or no? Or is it just
I think
something we can?
it's something we can look into. And,
Yeah. Okay.
see if it's something we can do a
It's
complete
starting
separate
out there, we
board.
have a $300,000 surplus because we got grants coming out of that.
Yeah, but the grants, no, so some of the grant
So
money's
that
already pulled
has-
out.
Well,
There's
but
only
we've
80K
got more
budgeted.
grants.
There's only 80K budgeted for that. So we're gonna have 300K, and there's more money coming in than going out. There's 92 going in
Well-
and 80 going out. So I mean, we're gonna have 300K for, if we don't do anything about it, we're gonna be sitting on 300K for a while. So,
I would just say the 300K was the carryover number that I emailed to you.
mm-hmm,
So then out of that, you'd have to take out the current 25,000 facade grant and then any future ones we do.
or wasn't some of that already paid out and like reflected in that?
But the numbers I gave you, the
Mhm.
330,
Didn't have the
Yeah.
25 out.
it was the carryover amount coming into 2026.
Oh,
So then we budget, basically you looked at that 81,000, we're probably gonna get around 80,000 revenue this
Okay.
year. And we'll probably spend a portion of that based on the budgeted expenditures that we have in there.
Yeah,
But the total carryover, I'd say that's the amount that you could look at and say, okay, now it's down by 25,000 from what it was at the beginning of the year, so we use that for the facade
Yeah.
grant. If we're gonna do another one in the fall or whenever for Broadway, that's gonna drop it another 25,000, so you'd be at what, 280 if it was 330. And so then just considering the other grants, we got 4 out there at 20,000 each,
yeah.
just considering that and drops it down again. But I mean, there's still money there, I just
Yeah.
don't wanna,
We
like you
wanna
said,
leave 100
if we're gonna
plus
do
K.
50,000
Don't overspend.
facade every year.
I understand
After
that.
5 years, that's
Yeah.
gone.
Well, ultimately, the way that this could potentially work is, if it works, it draws more people, and then we get more people staying, and that 90K will be 100K or 120K. Like, that's the goal here, right? It's supposed to come around in a circle, right? We're investing in this city. So yeah, so no motion needed on this. We'll
Look
investigate and figure out solutions, or what?
Yeah, I don't think a motion's necessary.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. But we need to establish some kind of group or some kind of something of, and I think, like I was saying, like a temporary action group would probably be the most fitting, because I don't think these people would necessarily want to come every month to a meeting about this, It'd probably be a couple back-to-back meetings, getting it established, and then figuring out what different projects we need to do, and they wouldn't meet for months, because, you know, we're not gonna do a project every month. You know, it's gonna be, we'll probably do a couple this year and then reconvene next year and figure out like an annual meeting kind of thing, I guess, right? I don't know. So,
Can you have someone look into the back of the garage, what it would cost us to hire an artist to do it? Just so we know.
Yeah, we can search somebody out and see.
Yeah, just to give us an idea of what we're looking at there, because I think that's the first thing, because I miss that.
and you can even do the side of the amphitheater too. There's lots of places we can do art. The amphitheater at Briggs, you know, the
The
size of
stage.
it. The stage, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Don't be giving it fancy names.
isn't it an amphitheater
Pin and shell.
technically?
I was trying to figure out where this theater was.
And then, the underpass here where it's just white bricks.
That's on ours.
So, yeah, but we could probably get an agreement to let us paint it.
I don't know.
Not with railroad.
Oh,
Are they really that
yeah.
hard?
can't get the railroad
They're
to
really
blow.
that hard? Yeah?
You don't even touch this.
All right, so, are there any other council concerns?
That's it.
All right, item B, council action request updates. There are none. Item 13, adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's meeting. Any discussion? Question, please.
Brewster,
Yes.
Walters.
Yes.
Engler.
Yes.
Collier. Yes. Martin.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.